Ngatia. Welcome, Mr. Ngatia.
Thank you.
And thank you for availing yourself. We'll take a few pictures of you, or I don't know whether Anna, that has been done. Yes, we'll take a few pictures, senior counsel, and then we'll continue with the interview. Yes, I think that is enough. We can continue. Mr. Ngatia, now I'll have the commissioners introduce themselves to you, and I'll start with the acting CJ.
Good morning, Senior Counsel.
Good morning, DCJ.
I am Philomena Mbetemwilo. I am the elected representative of the Supreme Court to the Judicial Service Commission. I'm also the Deputy Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya.
Thank you.
Good morning, Council.
Good morning, Commissioner.
I'm Patrick Shohei, representing Public Service. Karibu.
Asante.
Good morning, Senior Counsel.
Good morning, my lord.
I am David Majanja, Judge of the High Court, Commissioner representing Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, Senior Counsel.
Good morning, Commissioner.
I'm Olwande Evelyn, Chief Magistrate. I'm the female representative of KMJ.
Asante.
Good morning, Senior Counsel. My name is Machari Anjero. I represent the Law Society of Kenya.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning, Senior Counsel. My name is Felix Koske. I represent the public.
Asante, Commissioner.
Morning, Senior Counsel. My name is Mohamed Warsame, Judge of Appeal. Welcome.
Asante, my lord.
A very good morning, Senior Counsel Fred Ngatia.
Good morning,
Kariuki. I am the Attorney General, and I'm here by virtue of that office.
Asante, sir.
Senior Counsel, and I'm Olive Mugenda, Commissioner representing the public and chairing these interviews. We also have the Secretary to JSC and also the Chief Registrar of Judiciary, Honorable Anna Madi.
Good morning, Senior Counsel.
Good morning, Sierra J.
And we also have Frida Mukaya, who is the Registrar of JSC, at the corner there. Thank you. So a few housekeeping issues, Senior Counsel. Please feel free to ask commissioners to repeat a question if you're not sure or to clarify. After 2 hours or so, we will have a short break. And Madam Anna Madi will escort you to where you're going to have your break. Otherwise, it's supposed to be a conversation, Senior Counsel, so you should all relax and have the conversation. So I'll kick off the interview by giving you 5 to 10 minutes, Senior Counsel, to tell us why you feel you are the best suited candidate to be CJ. And I will, just 5 to 10 minutes, because the other issues will come with the commissioners. Thank you.
Asante, Professor. Perhaps I should first and foremost say I started my legal career at Attorney General's Chambers in 1980. That was the first place I was employed. Within a relatively short period of time, I was allocated very many difficult briefs. I'll mention only 2. I was involved together with the head of station, or head of my section, Mr. Frank Shields, with the acquisition of the land where Kasarani Sports Complex is constructed. The owners of that parcel of land, a company called Salopia Limited, had objected to government acquiring that land because we were using the Land Acquisition Act. And it's a prerequisite in that act that when government is using that act, it's got to be for a public purpose. And because of what was then happening, the owners were saying, this is nothing more than government taking this land for its own purposes. We did overcome that formidable challenge, and after overcoming that challenge in the High Court, then we went on to the issue of compensation. It was handled by the chief valuer, and that is why this republic has a near Olympic stadium at Kasarani. Soon thereafter, Attorney General nominated me to look at a very difficult problem that has persisted in this country, or had persisted in this country from the time of independence. That is the difficulty of an international boundary between Kenya and Sudan. I was entrusted with that task. Ultimately, government, together with the British Council, sponsored me to undertake a Master's in Law program at London School of Economics, and as part of the LLM program, to undertake original research in Kenya-Sudan boundary. I was at LSC. I spent numerous hours at Public Records Office because commissioners, all the documents of this republic during the colony and protectorate status, all those documents are at Public Records Office. I'm sure commissioners, you know where Public Records Office is towards Heathrow Airport at Kew Gardens. So I had to commute from LSC, which is at the Strand, and go to this Public Records Office every other single day, and I acquired a wealth of material. In 1 minute, commissioners, at the turn of towards 1914, the boundary was defined by the British government as a straight line between two fixed points, or in the alternative, such a line that would give to us the customary grazing grounds of the Turkana. Those grazing grounds were never defined, but towards 1938, a survey party established that the boundary was slightly above the straight line. That was not to be. We went on, and Sudan demarcated what they call 1950 Sudanese patrol line. That Sudanese patrol line is what actually triggered my interest in this area. And by application of principles of international law, I actually established that when any government allows a competing government to administer an area, the doctrines of acquiescence, doctrines of renunciation of territory, they all kick in. I hope we'll have an opportunity to discuss this in greater detail, but in one sentence, we were able, or I was able in my research, to establish that the Sudanese patrol line, which is a considerable distance from the straight line, is now the international boundary. So, commissioners, I'm sure you all remember, in 1980s, the Kenya-Sudan boundary was indicated as a straight line. Then in 1985-86, we had an extended boundary that went towards Sudan. The difference in graphic terms is that through this research and the validation that went on in government, we were able to change our international boundary from the straight line to the new boundary, and we acquired 9,680 square kilometers. To put it in context, the former Western Province was 7,400 square meters. So we acquired a territory larger than the former Western Province. This is one of my research papers It went through government, it went through validation. I cannot say that it was singular effort. The Attorney General and other organs of state all participated, and ultimately we changed our boundary. I then went to private practice from 1987. I've conducted numerous cases. Of interest would be I acted for ECK in the Kriegler Commission and also in the Waki Commission, where it was demonstrated that weak laws, weak institutions, weak governance structures can actually collapse any republic. Kriegler Commission report demonstrated and illustrated the weaknesses which were within our legal system and the lack of capacity in the electoral process and the lack of independence in the judiciary. I was part of a team. My team leader was John Musyoka Annan. I was his able assistant, and we also had Nyamodi. Paul Nyamodi is one of my colleagues. A team of 3, we represented ECK. It was a gigantic effort. We learned so much about the need to have proper laws and proper capacities in key institutions that deal with elections and the need to have an independent judiciary. Professor, thereafter, I've given my CV. I was instructed to work for National Assembly, and this is interesting, against the Senate in an advisory opinion at the Supreme Court. You may remember that there were the tough wars at the beginning of the 2010 Constitution, which is the superior house. But like lawyers, we do what we know best. We posed what appeared to be a very innocuous question. Which house should originate a money bill? But behind that innocuous question was whose business is it to legislate division of revenue bill? Because if it came to be my client, National Assembly, to legislate division of revenue bill, it means then we're in total control over devolution. And Senate was saying, no, it can't be. It is a joint effort. We came to Supreme Court, we argued on this matter. I lost, but with one dissenting judge saying that the issue was not justiciable. With that loss, devolution became entrenched as a principle that must be followed. But that was not the end of it. Barely 2 years ago, I was again instructed by the Council of Governors also about division of revenue bill. This time because the opinion that had been given to both houses was being ignored. I did that matter, and the Council of Governors was quite happy with the outcome. In between, I have conducted many other cases, and in my view, if I could summarize in 1 minute, you've had a CJ from academia who did wonderful work. I've looked at his transformation agenda. Allow me to say this with tremendous respect to my former lecturer. It is as profound or second in as profound to the Constitution. I can't see any other agenda as profound as Chief Justice Mutunga's agenda. Then you had a judge of this court as a Chief Justice with his agenda, which took us to another level. We have more magistrates, more judges, courts all over the country, a wonderful experience. But what you now lack is somebody who has been a consumer of this service. I've been knocking at the doors of the High Court, Magistrates Court. I've been to all the courts in this republic. I have that eye that no other would have. For 40 years, I've been in Magistrates Court everywhere. I've been as far as Lokitang. I've been in every part of this country. We had 14 High Court judges at 2011. I've been to each of those. I've been to every Court of Appeal station in this country. When Supreme Court started, I was one of the early practitioners in that court. I have practiced in that court. I have wonderful professional relationship with the judges of that court. And I do believe, Professor, that I have that eye, a practitioner's eye, that can be able to see the real weaknesses and the perceived weaknesses and come up with a transformation agenda slightly advanced from access to justice. From access to justice to another agenda that would be, which we will discuss as we get along. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Senior Counsel. Clearly, Senior Counsel, you are a successful lawyer, Senior Counsel by all standards, given what you have told us and also what you have read from your CV. What I haven't heard, Senior Counsel, that I want you to explain to us is I've not seen much evidence of Mr. Ngatia, the leader. So please demonstrate to the Commission and to the public that you are that transformative leader we are looking for. I'm interested in tangible achievements in leadership and also maybe institutional changes that you have done, and that can be attributed to your leadership excellence, Senior Counsel.
Thank you, Prof. Prof, of course, I must also acknowledge your transformation of an ordinary college to iconic status. So allow me to pick a college, a university college, as an example. I have so many examples, but allow me to take a university college. Commissioners, you may all recall, University of Nairobi, virtually every now and then students will go on strike. It became so perennial that we were wondering whether we should have a university next to the human population around the city of Nairobi because of the rampant wastage that used to happen. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was requested by the Senate to look for what are the issues bedeviling this university. Prior thereto, I had been involved as counsel in a lot of disciplinary cases that went to the High Court. And those disciplinary cases used to have almost a circular effect. You discipline a student, expel him, and then that provokes a riot at the campus. You do not do that, then again another circular effect. And when Senate engaged me, with a student population of 80,000, I started working with the university administration. Prof, at University of Nairobi, there are 8 colleges. No, sorry, there are 6 colleges. Each college had its own independent disciplinary process. So you'd have a college, for example, Humanities and Social Sciences at the main campus, with near to 18 faculties under it. You have another college, say, Biological Sciences or Agriculture at Kabete. Each of the 6 colleges would have its own disciplinary structure. Then for the halls of residence, there were 8 distinct. Consequently, honorable commissioners, you have, so to speak, semi-autonomous pockets of disciplinary bodies all dealing with the 80,000 students. And of course, what will go to the academic, the colleges, would be anything to do with academic, but for residential, it's what would go to the halls of residence. I studied this, I engaged all the colleges, we had seminars, and we had so many workshops. And then I looked at comparative colleges like Pretoria, Harvard, my former college, LSC, or University of London, and I actually saw what is the problem with this premier university is the 7th university in Africa, but they had not got it right. You cannot have a disciplinary process which has no harmony. So what was ailing this college is the fact that there was no harmony in the sentences that are awarded to students. There's no harmony in what is a disciplinary offense. And I crafted a student handbook that was to operate and is to operate across board. So you do not have a student in one college being expelled, whereas for identical offense or misdemeanor or transgression, he is just told, do not repeat that again. Consequently, and I say this without any fear of contradiction, the harmony you now see at this university is a direct attribute of the work that we did. I must, of course, acknowledge that I've received tremendous support from the Senate and from all the college principals and all the academic staff. We were able to actually transform what was becoming more or less a perennial problem of indiscipline to now a college where I'm sure commissioners, you cannot recall the last time you saw university students throwing stones along Koinange Street. And I have many, many other examples of equal kind that I've had occasion to deal with.
So, Senior Counsel, were you the chairman of the board of the council of Nairobi University? Or?
No, whatever work I did as an consultant.
Oh, okay.
I did as a consultant at the request of the Senate. I was reporting to the Senate, and they authorized me to have meetings with any person within the university. So I started off with the academic staff, and then went on with the college heads, and then as we went along, I got across a very, very good idea of why indiscipline had become the order of the day.
So just a follow-up question, Senior Counsel. You're going to be leading a workforce of probably like 5,000 judicial officers and judicial staff. So how will that experience then help you to lead this big workforce in the judiciary?
The principles in leadership, Prof, commissioners, apply for a workforce of 20, and they would apply for a workforce like the Boeing aircraft manufacturer. It is all a question of how you are able to be a leader. I should have indicated that later in life, I did a second master's degree in applied philosophy at Strathmore University. In that, I learned business ethics, philosophy as a tool, and leadership really clearly understood what you are looking for are the 4 cardinal virtues. The 4 cardinal virtues are prudence, temperance, fortitude, and justice. If you have the 4 cardinal virtues, you'll be a leader of 10, a leader of 100, a leader of 1,000,000. It is not administrative skills, it's leadership. And in leadership, you're looking for the 4 cardinal virtues. And this is an applied principle in all the blue chip companies all over the world. We had an empirical research at Strathmore about who are transformative leaders in all the companies in the world. And what stands out is somebody who manifests in deed and in word that you have the 4 cardinal virtues. I can say without any fear that I have tried my very level best to manifest and to inculcate the 4 cardinal virtues in everything I do. Before I conclude, from the 4 cardinal virtues, you collapse into 2 other, so to speak, abilities that you must work on, which is humility and magnanimity. So from the 4 cardinal virtues, on a day-to-day applications, there must be humility and magnanimity.
Okay. Thank you, Senior Counsel. You talked about the vision a little bit when you said that you move from transforming judiciary from access to justice, move it forward a little more. Please talk a little bit about that, your vision, and how you are going to rally all the stakeholders behind you to achieve that vision.
As a consumer of the service, as a consumer of this service, and here I must say that as a consumer, I have that little more knowledge because I've been to virtually every court, and we are able to see how that court operates, how another court operates. I've been a victim of delayed judgments, I've been a victim of all manner of things, and with like measure, I have a lot of very good things to say. Before I say anything further, let me acknowledge, Prof, that in our judiciary, we have some of the best legal minds. And I do not say this in flattery, because I have had the occasion in my second master's program to do a research paper on jurisprudence in apex courts all over the world, on very, very